So in this video I gonna dismantle a crazy bitch who made a pact with Belial in the past and with Satan. And she broke the pact and she kinda went completely crazy. She went completely nuts. So kids, if you watch this fucking video, don't make and break pacts with demons. It can fuck up your brain. And be careful what you are doing. Here is hour-long example, and I will also leave you example in the description, so you can all see what kind of nonsense came to pass if you break your pact with demons and go nuts, what kind of crazy conspiracy enters your head, and also how much willing to grab attention people are in this motherfucking community. Hail Belial! So today I gonna talk about literally one YouTuber who mercilessly slanders Lilith and Samael and Azazel and Belial and many other spirits I work with. So let's listen to what she has to say, and I will literally debunk the entire fucking video because the amount of bullshit person said is 42 minutes is literally amazing. She was before really prominent occult author and I admired her work. I never spoke against her in any significant manner because I admired deeply her work, meditations she did with Azazel and King Paimon. I admired the ritual for accepting of Mark of the Beast she did with Lucifer. I admired all of the Black Sun exercises and works she had done. I admired all of the literally work she have done with Belial. And before I start criticizing this individual, what I need to say is that her criticism of Become a Living God stealing content from other YouTubers and occult creators is true. They are indeed stealing content sometimes, and that's just the nature of what it is. Everybody in this occult industry plagiarizes content because it's really difficult to channel, it's really difficult to do the actual work. So she is correct in regard to plagiarism accusations because those accusations are real. And she isn't the only one who came out with those accusations, but this person in this video literally mixes true information with nonsense in order to attract attention. She wants to be sensationalist, and I want to debunk this because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous, and this is absolutely crazy, and this is misinforming people and slandering extremely powerful and useful entities. So let's start.
Religion, all the ones that sound the same, Christianity, Islam, they are claiming that every single character in the Bible that...
By the way, right now she is referring to Osiris, Isis, Samael, and Lilith. And she claims that Osiris, Isis, Samael, and Lilith claim this.
That has any sort of a major power behind it, that it's all theirs. Samael is claiming to be the god of that Bible. He's also claiming to have created this Horus thing.
So, first great mistake. Samael isn't Yahweh. I summoned Yahweh when I was a child. I worked with that force. And I also summoned Samael. This is complete misinformation. This is absolute nonsense. And this is just beginning of the slander. And Samael doesn't have anything to do with Horus.
That has been known to hone in on Ra and Lucifer, the thing that a lot of people identify as like the pagan version of Jesus, that these are all his. And you've got Lilith coming forward trying to tell me that she is the equivalent to Eve, which I know a lot.
Lilith isn't equivalent to Eve. Lilith is opposed to Eve. There is a rite of infernal warfare in which you call the spirit of Lilith and call the spirit of Eve, and then you command Lilith to devour Eve in order to empower Lilithic alchemy. So this is complete misinformation. Go forward. Now.
You have heard, and the Virgin Mary, and this is something.
Also, Lilith has nothing to do with Virgin Mary. This is ridiculous misinformation. Lilith is opposed to Virgin Mary, and she works on destruction of this Christian motherfucking egregore.
Something that I will explain later on. I know it sounds absolutely crazy. I didn't believe it at first. I thought the spirits were just messing with me, or they were just on a power trip trying to make themselves look more powerful.
So, spirits aren't messing with this person. This person is trying to build up her ruined reputation and occult career. By slandering spirits, she made a pact with in the past and then broke her pact. And now she is slandering those spirits and also slandering her competition in occult profession. She is slandering rival occult companies.
Like, look, this is all ours. Look at how much we've taken over the world with all this nonsense. But everything just keeps pointing right back to it every single time. There are signs and evidence everywhere you look.
Where is the evidence? Can this person provide significant evidence, which cannot be debunked in 2 sentences? Let's continue.
Look, it always comes back to that. The conspiracy that they've got going on right now, they are using sorcerers who consider themselves to be Satanists or black magicians, because black magic, it is Christian in origin. And
so, to be specific, and I will be honest, black magic isn't Christian in origin. By term black magic, you are referring to use of void energies in sorcery. And use of void energies in sorcery existed in Slavic polytheism, in African polytheism, in Old Semitic polytheism, in polytheism all around the world. You have gods attuned to the void. The god attuned to the void in Slavic tradition is Chernobog, and his wife is Morana. So she is straight out making shit up by claiming that black magic is Christian construct. Go forward.
And I don't care what anyone says. Anyone who is a Satanist, you are a Christian. I don't care if you call yourself an atheist or you.
So then again, everybody who is a Satanist works with elements of Christian paradigm, but isn't a Christian. Because being a Christian involves worshipping only Jehovah, worshipping only pussy Jews God of the Hebrews. If you worship any entity alongside Jehovah, you are not Christian anymore. So this is basic misunderstanding of classical Christian theology, and this nonsense goes around fucking shit by a bunch of authors, and I need to listen to this every fucking day by idiots. Let's continue.
Got one of these newer versions of Satanism where you don't take anything literally. That's not true Satanism. A true Satanist is someone.
By the way, she is now slandering key spirits of left hand of dark paradigm, like Lilith and Azazel, and she is also trying to determine what is Satanism, because she is absolute authority on everything, by the way, and she is the smartest person in this fucking universe, and everybody who disagrees with her is part of the global conspiracy.
Who recognizes the Bible to be literal, who has decided to
Those who practice adversarial side of Abrahamic paradigm do not consider Bible to be literal. They use aspects of that Abrahamic paradigm which can be used for self-empowerment. I don't believe that God created Earth in 7 days, fucked Mary in pussy and created Jesus. I don't believe in this. What I believe in is that within the Bible there are alchemical maps which can be used for self-empowerment. Let's continue.
intentionally worship Satan, or those who believe that it is Lucifer, you are worshiping the fallen angel of that book.
By the way, everybody who lives within the occult community and isn't insane knows that Satan and Lucifer aren't the same entities, and Samael is also a different entity. And I can continue, but you know that this person is talking to idiots without any occult experience, trying to create a cult.
Look, lots of people at BALG and a handful of others kind of running around right now with this antichrist-like movement that they've created, trying to...
So I need to agree with her here. What certain individuals in the occult community do is ridiculous. This entire Antichrist thing is a misinterpretation of ancient alchemical map, which originates in Persia, by the way. Old Persians believe that person which rises Kundalini and entangles his soul in darkness becomes manifestation of Azidahaka, or three-headed dragon, and then Jews and Christians took that concept and call it Antichrist. So Antichrist is referring to the spiritual state, which is man empowered by black sun. It's not a literal guy, and a lot of people in this community claim it is a literal guy in order to make money. So I agree with her that this Antichrist part is ridiculous, but everything else she says is just utter bullshit.
Convince people that by becoming part of this antichrist movement that you are coming out against Christ, that it is like an anti-slave rebellion.
So, to be honest, this fake Antichrist movement we are seeing, which talks about literal Antichrist and pseudo-revolution, really isn't much of a help to the left-hand path community. I agree with that, but there are a lot of bullshit claims she makes, and we will dissect them in the continuation of this video.
And essentially, it's all the same spirits. They are playing people from...
It's not all the same spirits, and this person is deluding the public and pushing misinformation, and I will debunk every fucking claim she makes with pure logic and occult experience here.
On both sides. They've told me several times over the reason why they made Lucifer out to be the devil, even though it never says anywhere in that book that Lucifer is Satan or the devil, was because, again, these spirits claiming to be Osiris and Isis, who, if you have read the stories of Ra, you will know they have just this huge jealousy.
So, let's be real here. So, Bridge is claiming that Lucifer and Lilith are Osiris and Isis, and that they somehow wanna defeat Lucifer, who actually isn't Lucifer, who is actually Ra. Like, can you process this sentence? Osiris and Isis are two completely separate entities from Samael and Lilith, and Lucifer and Ra are also two completely separate entities. So she is openly making shit up. I called all of the forces presented. I called Ra, I called Lucifer, I called Lilith, I called Samael, I called Osiris, I called Isis, and in my experience, I can swear on my mother's head that everything presented here in this sentence is pure lie and pure nonsense for this individual to attract attention. Let's continue.
And hatred toward Ra. They wanted to steal his power. They wanted to take everything from him.
So, let's be real here. This person, I don't know if she making Egyptian mythology up. I don't know is she like trying to be interesting, trying to catch attention, trying this and that, because spirits told me through my enlightenment mind is the best way to catch attention. Like, you can say that spirits told you to fuck your neighbor's wife, and there are idiots who will give you to fuck their wife if you claim spirits told you so. This woman is making Egyptian mythology up, okay? there is no any record of Osiris and Ra being rivals. There is record of Set and Osiris being rivals, but there is no any record in Egyptian mythology of Osiris and Ra being rivals. There are indeed records in which Isis steals the true name of Ra, but then later in the myth Ra gets his true name back and creates Sekhmet, the goddess of vengeance in Egyptian mythology. So there is no any enmity of any kind between Ra, Osiris and Isis, and Ra, Osiris and Isis are not Lilith, Lucifer and Samael.
Lucifer is Ra, and he has told me this and a handful of other people flat out. This is all just a jealous feud between...
So, this is open misinterpretation, okay? What Lucifer said to people is that he and Ra are functionally independent entities with functionally independent agenda, Gnosis, ways of teaching and empowerment, but they represent the same solar Venusian impulse.
Pagan gods. They tried to make Lucifer out to be the devil so they could scapegoat him for all.
It's not Lilith trying to make Lucifer look like the devil. It's not Osiris and Isis. It's not Samael. Because all of those spirits were destroyed by Catholic Church, defeated by Catholic Church, which is human made institution which serves Jehovah. So this is making shit up. This is hardcore bullshit. This is hardcore nonsense which disregards anything regarding history, mythology, archaeology, comparative studies, linguistics. She literally doesn't have any evidence for anything. She is making shit up. And she is not insane. She is just trying to catch attention, and she is mixing correct information with wrong information, and this is like making me dry vomit.
The evil stuff that they have been the ones running around doing this whole time. And so he gets the blame for everything.
By the way, what she is claiming right now is that Isis and Osiris, two Egyptian deities completely unrelated to the demons and Qliphoth, somehow are Lilith and Samael, and they somehow run around working against Lucifer, creating evil in the world, by the way, which doesn't make any sense, since Osiris was fertility god responsible for healing and justice in Egypt, and Isis was also fertility goddess responsible for justice, magic and empowerment. So this doesn't have any basis in history, archaeology, linguistics, like just pure bullshit, and I am debunking it over and over again. And I just ranted through 8 minutes of this video.
Everyone's evils worldwide, and they can just kind of fly under the radar and not get caught up in it, while at the same time they're over there and they've got all these obedient Christians just kind of obeying, doing...
So, according to her, obedient Christians are worshipping Osiris and Isis, which are actually Samael and Lilith, which are disguising themselves as Jehovah. But don't forget, according to this woman, Jehovah is also Satan, and madness goes on and on.
And what they want them to do, they're using the Satanists by convincing them that they are working with Lucifer, and it is not Lucifer. It is Samael and Lilith.
So, here is the thing. It's impossible to mix Lilith, Lucifer, and Samael. Those are so completely different energies that you cannot even mix them if you are 100% dizzy. Lucifer is like blue electricity energy. Lilith is like white, sick wind energy. and Samael is like dense light mixed with fire kinda energy. So 3 completely different energies, by the way. And lot of people like maybe mix Lucifer and Samael, but those are usually idiots who don't know what they are talking about. So again, Bridge is making shit up. Nobody serious is mixing those 3 entities.
And Belial and a few others, Azazel, Baphomet, they are impersonating the real Lucifer.
Azazel isn't impersonating Lucifer, and he never claims to be Lucifer. This woman throws this rant about Azazel for half of her video. She is claiming that Belial and Azazel somehow impersonate Lucifer. So, let me explain. This woman is actually contradicting herself, because she made years back a video about Azazel and Paimon being part of the same genic meta-god, genic consciousness, okay? And she was correct there. So if we take her correct video from few years back, which is deleted from this channel, she directly contradicts herself, because she is claiming that Azazel perfectly impersonates them. 2 different spirits, which is impossible, since Azazel's energetic makeup is so different than energetic makeup of Lucifer and Paimon. Idiot can distinguish them, if you have any clear sentience. Azazel's energy look like fire, genic smokeless fire, mixed with darkness, and then add primal element to it. Paimon's energy look like genic smokeless fire, but mixed with light and earth, so Paimon is kinda on the completely opposite polarity of Azazel. If you know what evocation is and how it functions, you know that they are part of the same greater consciousness, but they are on the completely opposite side of the spectrum. And Iblis is part of the same consciousness as Azazel, Paimon, and they are literally 3 separate spirits which are connected to the same source of smokeless fire. And to that smokeless fire are a lot of genic kings like Birkan or Maimun or Al-Amr or Al-Mutib. They are all connected, all of the genic kings, and King Paimon is a genic king, and Azazel is a genic king, and Iblis is a genic king. They are all connected to that same source of energy, that sea of smokeless fire. And this woman actually discovered this a while back. And I investigated this, and she was correct, but right now she is completely trying to dismantle legitimate Gnosis she offered before with nonsense.
Because they know that, since they have convinced people that Lucifer is the devil, which was an initial.
So only idiots are convicted that Lucifer is the devil. Lucifer has darker demonic aspect, but he also has light aspect connected to the sun, and he is summoned during daylight, because his association with the sun is so strong that you have difficulties summoning him during nighttime unless you are really well trained.
Effort to make him look like this horrible monster to keep people away from him and to.
So, as she later admits in this own video, Christian mythology actually paint Lucifer in a really good light. Lilith is slandered much more, and Azazel is slandered much more, and Satan is slandered much more than Lucifer in Christian mythology. Azazel is literally called the father of all evil in the book of Enoch. He has genic part and Gregoric part, but in book of Enoch he is called the father of perversion and the father of evil. And then she claims that somehow Christianity slanders only Lucifer. Only Lucifer is attacked. This evil Azazel, he is trying to slander Lucifer. Oh my god! Oh my god! Ah!
Destroy everything that he has built. Well, now society has decided that they don't like all this Christian crap. They're turning away from it, and people are
So I need to pause this video. I need to pause this video and to say that partially this woman is using something which is real and overblowing it to push her agenda. Let me explain. So Paimon has what I call the Great Scheme competition with Belial. What it means? It means that Paimon and Belial are still both entities which kind of work on the same goal. Paimon has two aspects, which is a pagan aspect, known as Arsu and Al-Qudbai, and he also has infernal aspect, which is Paimon. And Azazel also has Gregoric aspect, angelic aspect, and demonic aspect, which is the scapegoat. But Belial, he has two aspects. One aspect is like Belial attuned to earth, like spirit of the earth, like more elemental side of Belial. And then you have Belial as a demonic king, as the loveless one. So, demonic aspect of Paimon and demonic aspect of Belial work at the similar goals, which is enlightening the humanity through forbidden knowledge, but they don't like each other, and using them in insane ritual isn't advisable. They don't like each other, and they told that to me multiple times, but it's far from what this woman is saying, okay? Belial isn't going around beating King Paimon and destroying his agenda. This is just nonsense. When they have to work together, Paimon and Belial work together. This woman is like taking legitimate information and she is bullshitting again. Well, let's continue.
starting to think that the devil and all this stuff is really cool. So, thinking that it's Lucifer, they're going to him. Now Lucifer has gotten like this massive surge in attention over the last couple of years, and it is driving these spirits crazy because they realize that they pretty much fucked up with everything. It's getting Lucifer a bunch of attention from unwanted people that are approaching him like he is the devil, asking to be various antichrists, wanting to help him kill everyone and destroy the whole world.
So this woman is legitimately mixing people who are delusional and talk with their own heads with people who work with Lucifer and want to empower themselves. If you claim you are Antichrist and you work with Azazel, Lucifer, Belial, any of those entities, they will clearly say you that it's a concept of spiritual empowerment through a black sun, but Lucifer isn't insisting on black sun. He is insisting on more like solar sun, solar impulse, but you can work with black sun and work with Lucifer too. So Antichrist isn't a guy, and you cannot be Antichrist. It's a spiritual concept like enlightenment or damnation or moksha or karma. It's a spiritual concept, okay? It's not a guy, and you cannot be Antichrist.
World with an apocalypse, and at the same time, like I said, these other...
So, word apocalypse means revelation. So, what this woman is saying is that Belial is trying to end the world with revelation. Belial, how evil is of you! You want to end the world with revelation. Shame on you!
Spirits, they're getting mad because they're like, that attention was supposed to be ours. So it's kind of...
Yeah, there is a rivalry between demonic entities. But it's not like a war or anything. It's more like two friends competing around the same pussy to fuck her for one night and then being friends next morning once again.
It's kind of reversed everything. So now, with Lucifer having like this rising of sorts, the spirits have felt like they need to go in and correct it. So now what they've done is they have decided to come out and label themselves as the Antichrist, and now they are taking credit for having been the original.
No spirit I work with label himself as Antichrist. No demon, no jinn, no qliphothic entity is labeling himself as Antichrist. I still have difficulties finding one who is doing so. Please, if there is some demon out here claiming to be Antichrist, bring them to me to kick his ass. Bring him to me to kick his ass, please.
Devil or Satan of that book this whole time. They're doing it in a shiesty way, though. Again, they're still using Lucifer's name to kind of scapegoat him, so it looks like, you know, this apocalyptic movement that BALG is pulling is all his, but...
So, in reality, this apocalyptic movement which BALG is pulling is a money grab. But Become a Living God is doing this money grab, and that's fine, because they want to make money, and 9% of what they publish is actually legitimate occultism. The rest is plagiarized by somebody and somehow, but they have right to advertise themselves, and naive people also have right to, like, fall into that advertising. But to be honest, this woman here is doing the same thing. Like, she is also making up shit and trying to be a prophet and trying to be special.
They have admitted to me and a couple of other people flat out that it is them that is behind this. Now they have to take on that Antichrist role so they can lure those people back to them, so they can get the empowerment.
So, as I said earlier, no spirit I work with, Lilith, Belial, Azazel, Lucifer, Paimon, none of them is claiming to be Antichrist.
And all the attention that comes from this. Anything that you've heard about an apocalypse or the Antichrist coming from that movement or possibly anywhere else in the occult communities right now, it's all fake. These spirits, they're not the ultimate authority.
I agree that it's all money grab. And I agree that Belial doesn't claim he is Antichrist. But it also doesn't mean that Belial is creating some evil conspiracy to defeat mankind. Like, that's bullshit too. You are bullshitting, just like EA quitting. You are doing the same thing. You are trying to be sensationalist. And, yeah.
They're not the creators of all like they want people to believe. And again, I'm going to explain more about everything later on. All you need to know is that this whole thing came about as a result of a greedy deal. The people at BALG are being rewarded by being able to come forward, what they're doing, promoting these spirits, helping them, making the videos and stuff, and making people think that there's some massive gateway apocalyptic movement in the works.
So, let's be honest here. The only massive gateway which can exist is you calling spirits, working with them, and ascending yourself. So, this woman is doing the following. She is exposing, like, EA for being a marketizer and advertising shit to sell it in a good package. But then she presents herself as like some kind of savior who gives true knowledge. But in reality she is doing the same thing. Like, she is like selling bullshit too. Like, she promised to her fans that she will create a free platform for satanic training. Okay? And then she literally went out of her way, put her site down twice, and then when site was up third time, she like presented Lucifer Warrior training program, which costed more than $1,000, and anybody who couldn't pay $1,500 for a program was immediately slandered. So, yeah.
They're getting money, they're getting sales, they're getting people led to them, they're getting attention, they're getting the rights to come out and label themselves as prophets or messiahs, like E.A. Wedding.
So yeah, to be honest, a lot of people in this community claim to be prophets and messiahs, and it's lame, and it's dumb, and a lot of people are biting it, a lot of people are taking it seriously.
Calling himself the Prince of Fire, which people have often associated with Lucifer. Calling himself the Shepherd of the Black Sheep, which is like a reverse Jesus, because Jesus was a shepherd of the white sheep, which should be obvious, again, that the God of the Christian Bible is also Satan, because if you'll notice, all the dark titles that they're taking on, they're pretty much, they're sticking to the same thing. They're just flipping it around. They're like mirroring it, flipping it in reverse. And then Orly Stewart calling herself the mother of abomination, like Lilith, or the great...
Like, to be honest, Orly Stewart does some lame marketing too, but she is at least decent occultist. I paid her to channel Lilith for me, and she did it well.
A whore. Curtis Joseph has been calling himself the Red Dragon, which has also been attributed to Samael. And
to be honest, I don't get Curtis's thing with the dragons, because guy, like, just makes something which is obvious and packs it into mystical package in order to sound interesting. I will talk about it in future videos, but right now let's talk about Raven's bullshit. This is the theme of this video.
And I actually got some secret writings of Curtis Joseph that he had not released to the public.
Can you show us these secret writings, okay? She just claims secret knowledge like, BAM! I have secret knowledge about Curtis. Bam, bam, bam! I gonna shoot him, bitch. And like, she isn't showing any writings, anything, and she isn't informing anybody. So, she probably is making shit up. Like, Curtis helped me in the past, but I don't know what he is doing behind the scenes. So, what I'm saying is that this woman didn't provide any evidence.
Public yet, that someone else forwarded to me, where he was literally proclaiming himself to be like a black fire Jesus.
So, what she is probably referring to is one of Curtis's essays, in which I will talk about that essay and what it means, but this woman completely misinterpreted the essay, took it out of context, and she tries to lure people to pay her money for her services. That's the point of this video, and she is slandering everybody else who disagrees with what she is saying.
Say that Jesus was originally the son of the original black fire god, which would have been Horus, the son of Osiris, and that all that sun-based energy was stolen, which you can see through these stories.
So, what she claims is let me explain how ridiculous this is. She claims that, somehow, Isis and Osiris, who are Lilith and Samael, stole the energy from Ra, and then made Horus up. And so she is claiming, let me being short here, that Lilith and Samael stole the energy from Osiris and made Horus up. So process this for a moment and call those entities yourself in separate rights, all of the entities mentioned here, and you will see how ridiculous this woman is, how ridiculous attention grab this is. She's repeating ridiculous claims for entire video over and over again, without giving any rituals to prove anything, without giving any significant evidence to prove anything, slandering everybody else who is in the occult business, and slandering extremely powerful spirits.
The stories of Ra and the stories of other solar gods, because they've done this to Lucifer in every single one of his aspects. On in and tried to reverse his image, making him out to be the Dark One or the adversary.
Which of his aspects? Can you name those aspects? And the reason why she isn't naming the aspects, let me tell you, is because those aspects she will name in the video, one of them, like Sol Invictus or Helios, aren't Lucifer, they are independent deities, which are incarnations of the solar impulse, but are independent from Lucifer. I worked with Sol Invictus, and I can say this for Sol Invictus for certain. I didn't work with Helios, so I don't know anything about him, but she is using the same reasoning for Helios, which is completely incorrect.
Or a destroyer, and they've taken his sun-based symbolism and just kind of ran off with it and made it theirs, and they've got people worshiping.
So what she is claiming is that Lilith and Samael took sun symbolism, which is completely inaccurate, and then that they are worshipped under this sun symbolism, which is completely inaccurate. And she is going on with these inaccuracies without any basis in anything over and over again. Like, you can watch her video. So I needed to publish this commentary because, like, this is ridiculous shit.
Him as if they are the original solar gods when they are not. And in that book,
Lilith never claimed to be a solar god. She always claims to be the goddess of wind, tempest, and plague. She doesn't have any association with the sun, and she doesn't have any connection to the Osiris and Isis.
Curtis Joseph is saying that Lilith has told him flat out that Jesus was the original Black Fire Prince, and he further moves on to associate himself with this. They've got...
So, what she is doing is she is using Curtis's essay, which is itself wrong. So she is using the wrong essay, which author like channeled under suspicious circumstances, and I will like explain why this essay is inaccurate. And then I will like she used that essay of the Curtis Joseph, which is inaccurate, to push her even more ridiculous agenda.
Several of the dudes over at BALG right now arguing over who is going to be the one true Antichrist.
So, Baal has interesting, Become a Living God has interesting marketing strategies. But what Raven is accusing them of is too much even for their own marketing. Like, this is flat out bullcrap, to say the least.
EA thinking that he is. They've got Curtis Joseph thinking that he is, and telling him that EA is just being used as a pawn temporarily until he can come forward. They're using these people as pawns in order to get attention. It was part of that whole greedy deal. But since these people are being rewarded, they don't realize that they're being used. Or if they do, they don't care, because the spirits are getting...
So she is presenting the Lilith and Belial and Azazel, the spirits I am extremely close to be shape-shifting, disgusting manipulators. And she is just providing her claims. She isn't providing any rituals to prove her point. She isn't providing any magical technology. She isn't providing any sigil, and in the later part of this video, she goes mad. Let's continue.
They're getting mass offerings, they're getting new followers led to them, they're getting constant blood sacrifice. Animals are being sacrificed on a regular basis for these spirits. I've even heard rumors that someone from BALG has a farm where they are raising goats, pigs, and other animals, chickens.
So what she is referring to is the fact that J.S. Garrett has farm on his property, and he raises chickens to sacrifice one chicken once a month in ritual for clients. So he isn't having slaughterhouse or anything. He just does animal sacrifice once a month. And by the way, animal sacrifice is part of the occult for as long as occult exists. Like first hunters used to hunt the prey in the name of their spirits. So like this woman is completely making stuff up, and this goes on and on and on.
You name it, just to be literally handed over to these deities, and some things have come up to support that along the way. The spirits are also getting, mass attention. They're getting promotion. Either way, it doesn't matter. It stirs up controversy. It is going to get your attention sooner or later, whether you believe in it or not. I am going to expose this whole thing in this video series. For right now, the most important things that you need to keep in mind are the fact that these spirits are impersonating Lucifer, and that there are several of
Belial isn't impersonating Lucifer, Azazel isn't impersonating Lucifer, Lilith isn't impersonating Lucifer, Samael isn't impersonating Lucifer. Stop, bitch, stop. This is too much. Like, she's like fucking all over the video. Like,
you that haven't even had the real Lucifer, or you did, but they have managed to find a way to block him, put up a wall so that he cannot reach you, and they are telling people that they are just a darker version of Lucifer, like Lucifer.
So they are not telling that they are darker version of Lucifer, and they never told me that for my entire career. It never happened to me, nor it happened to anybody I know. The only guy who pushes the agenda that Lucifer is the same as like some other being is her, by claiming that Sol Invictus and Ra are Lucifer, and also EA Quetting by claiming that Amaimon and Lucifer are the same. So I heard only two people who claim that Lucifer is the same as somebody else. Nobody claimed, as far as I know, that Lucifer is the same as Azazel, except maybe Asenath Mason, and that's plain wrong. Lucifer and Azazel are completely different entities made up of completely different energies. And same can be said for Lucifer and Belial, Lucifer and Paimon, Lucifer and Lilith, Lucifer and Samael, and Lucifer and Satan. There is a lot of deluded individuals who think Lucifer and Satan are the same, but just like Raven, those individuals are wrong. Just like Raven is bullshitting in her own way, those individuals who claim that Lucifer and Satan are the same simply do not have astral senses and psychic abilities to distinguish right from wrong. And this is all bullshit, and I am sick of this.
Fuge, who is a fake, like Amaimon, who is also a fake and is not another version of Lucifer, just impersonating him.
To be honest, the only guy who claimed that Lucifuge is Lucifer and Amaimon is Lucifer, as far as I know, is EA Quetting. Lucifer never said he's Amaimon, and Lucifer never said he's Lucifuge. And Amaimon and Lucifuge never said they are Lucifer. They always came with their distinct signatures and distinct personalities, and they were sometimes even offended to be called Lucifer, especially Lucifuge, because calling Lucifuge Lucifer is like calling black African a white guy. Like, it's like calling somebody from Africa, hey white guy, come to my circle. And she's using misinformation created by Become a Living God to attract attention.
Outright, they are creating all of these false aspects that do not belong to Lucifer, which makes it easier.
So they are Become a Living God. So this woman claims that Become a Living God created Amaimon and Lucifuge Raphael and claimed that they are Lucifer. So the only part here is that Quetting claimed that Amaimon is Lucifer and Lucifuge is Lucifer, which is wrong. But definitely, Amaimon and Lucifuge Raphael exist for thousands and thousands of years in their own right. And this is literally pure lie, because to be honest, Lucifuge and Lucifer don't work a lot together. They work in completely separate realms and do completely separate things. And Lucifuge is like type of the entity, type of the power, which is completely separate from Lucifer, and they work together just from time to time. And Lucifuge definitely isn't impersonating Lucifer in any way. By the way, attributes of Lucifuge are completely opposite to attributes of Lucifer.
For them to get to you, because if you know the real Lucifer and you're used to his energies, they give you a new name, convincing you this is just some new variant of Lucifer, a Black Sun Lucifer. You go evoking him.
So, Black Sun Lucifer doesn't exist, and nobody will give you a name to Black Sun Lucifer because Black Sun Lucifer doesn't exist. And I don't know anymore what this woman is rambling. Like, this is becoming incoherent nonsense.
They impersonate the energies and mask themselves with enough of Lucifer's stolen energy so that it feels like the real thing. But the second you start to feel something underneath it that does not feel like the real Lucifer,
what this woman is claiming is literally impossible. Everybody who is clairsentient enough would recognize this. Energies of Lucifuge and energies of Lucifer are pure opposites. It's almost impossible to mix them. So she is straight out making shit up. This is absolute bullcrap. This is absolute slandering of the spirit. And I worked with Lucifuge for a really long period of time, and I work with Lucifer too. They teach completely different things, and they rarely reference one another, and they are never opposed to one another in any way, but using them in the same ritual also isn't really advisable because they are kinda energetic opposites, so they are not so opposed that they'll fuck up your ritual if you call them together, but it's better to call Lucifer together with, like, I don't know, some other spirit like Ornius or, I don't know, Asmodeus. Somebody who isn't his complete energetic opposite.
Yeah, it's just a different version. I have a different energy. I'm a darker variant. That's why I feel weird. A lot of people have encountered this. A lot of people are having their lives destroyed, having things taken out from underneath them, losing their jobs, losing their wives, having their children, innocent children, messed with in their sleep.
So, to be honest, what she is alluding here right now is what happens if you break a pact with a demon in general. So, this shit happens with absolutely every demon if you ridiculously break a pact with a demon. In other cases, this doesn't happen. So, also, she is using right now some aspects of correct information to bullcrap. Continue.
Lilith is known to despise children and to not have any problems with attacking children whatsoever.
This is so ridiculously wrong. I summoned Lilith multiple times with the same bedroom with my two younger brothers. One was 5, another was 11. I summoned Lilith in the same bedroom they slept, and they didn't felt any bad things happening to them. I did it so many times I cannot even count. I even called Lilith to protect the children and curse the pedophiles. Curse worked. This isn't attention grab anymore. This is right now serious lying. So if you watch this woman, know that she is misinforming you. And to slander what she is saying and to prove she is wrong, I will soon publish a video as a proof in which I call Lilith to protect the child and to protect the mother.
Lucifer doesn't do these sorts of things. The real one does not. The real Lucifer is a god of balance and light and evolution.
So Lucifer is indeed god of balance and light. between darkness and the light. She is the god of balance. She has darker aspect and lighter aspect. He is the god of balance, but he isn't in any way opposed to Lilith or Azazel or Belial.
He wants us all to ascend, and these spirits,
And Azazel want you to ascend, Belial want you to ascend, Lilith want you to ascend. They all want you to ascend, not just Lucifer.
They want us all as slaves, underneath their control, because we're nothing more than a bunch of stupid animals to them. And they hate Lucifer because he and Paimon have always tried to educate humans, to work with them, to help us reach our goals. If you will notice.
And Lilith does it too, all the time, to those who actually listen to what she is saying. And same can be said for Belial and Azazel.
The personality of Samael and Lilith match to a T with that of the Christian God and the Christian Satan. And I will point out more of the...
So, maybe I will stop commenting this. This is becoming too wild. This is becoming too big of a bullshit. Okay? Like, if you believe in this shit, you are straight retarded, okay? There is no chance you, like, have a brain. If you worked with Lilith, Belial, and Azazel, and you believe this woman, you are worse than this woman. Because this woman will at least earn some money by this attention grab. But you will give her money. You will pay for the bullshit. You will practice bullshit. You will slander spirits and attack spirits which are actually helping Lucifer in certain aspects. And you will actually pay more than $1,500 for this misinformation.
These links along the way, and it's going to start making more and more sense to those of you that are sitting there right now still kind of confused, wondering what in the heck is she talking about. This is a complex situation, so it's hard to explain. That's why I had to make several videos to get it out, so you're going to have to just bear with me if I confuse you. Just go back through and rewatch the videos. You also need to know that these spirits, they are parasiting, they are vampirizing.
So, this is also misinformation. Lilith has vampiric aspects, and certain rites with her involve giving her energy. But she also gives energy in return and empowers the initiate. And she always gives more than she takes.
Samael is known for several types of vampirism, not just...
Samael also always gives more than he takes. I work with the guy, I know what I'm talking about.
Literal, but energy vampirism, psychic vampirism, you name it. They are literally attaching themselves to people, latching onto them permanently, trying to convince people that they are incubi and succubi spirits that are lovers or partners that have been sent to these people so that people will accept it.
So he is also bullshitting, because there are class of wandering incubi and succubi, or wandering sex spirits, and they are attaching to people and vampirizing them. But those spirits are not under the authority of Lilith, and Lilith is not attaching to people, presenting herself as a succubi and killing people. That's not what she does. I work with her for years. This entire channel is dedicated to her, and I know what I'm talking about. All of people who watch my videos also had opportunity to experience Lilith in a beautiful manner.
And it's a partner. They're getting some of these spirits to go in and impersonate Lucifer, Paimon, whatever spirit they think, ladies especially, would be most interested in, would be the most likely to want to marry. They are impersonating those spirits to get because it is mostly.
If you are good at clairsentience, impersonation isn't possible, like you will feel. But I never had the case of Belial impersonating somebody else. The only case of impersonation I had is like Lilith impersonating Muma Padura, the fairy queen of the Slavic lore. But it was kinda because she wanted to continue working with me. She, Samael, Paimon, Azazel, all other spirits never tried to impersonate Lucifer.
That this is happening to get them to let those spirits into their area, all excited, suddenly thinking, oh my gosh, the real Lucifer is in love with me, he wants to marry me. How can I resist that? I must be special.
So a lot of people who claim that they wanna marry Lucifer or fuck Lucifer in the ass are actually talking to their own heads. So when I say talking to their own heads, I mean they cannot silence their minds, and then instead of communicating with the spirits, they communicate with their own head, which in turn is fucking them up, and they become delusional, and it has nothing to do with Lilith.
Be important in some way. They let the spirit in, the spirit attaches, only to find out that it is not at all Lucifer, that it is one of these spirits, Samael, Lilith, or some sort of a thought form that they have created as feeders. And by the time they realize that it's too late, I've had hundreds of emails coming my way about this. And I wasn't able to help the people when they first came through because I was still figuring out what the heck was going on. But those of you that wrote me a few years ago inquiring about it, claiming that you had spirits around you that you thought were Lucifer or Paimon, but something felt weird about them, you weren't sure.
So what this woman is describing is low vibrational spiritual vampires who act as imposters, and those entities doesn't have anything to do with Samael or Lilith. I dealt with those entities before, and Lilith and King Paimon were spirits who helped me to get rid of these entities.
You need to become aware and keep in mind what I'm telling you right now. There's a good possibility it's not the real spirits. Those of you that have had a sudden relationship with a demon or a spirit over the last couple of years, especially if it started abusing you, lying to you, stealing your energy, draining you, also keep that in mind. You may be one of the ones that are getting targeted and attacked, especially if you've had Lucifer, what you thought was Lucifer, show up, and your wife and children were taken away from you. You lost your job, things that you did not deserve, bad things happening one right after another, and trying to tell you it was a result of, oh, we're trying to improve your life, we have to destroy everything before it can be rebuilt and made better. That's not how Lucifer does things. So there's a good chance you have this.
So let me explain. If you have so much fucked up life that Lucifer doesn't have any choice, he will remove your life and create new one with you. But if literally you have some problem in good life, Lucifer will remove that problem. So it depends on the situation. I made pact with Lucifer, and Lucifer healed my mother from cancer. So, but in order for my mother to be healed, I had to learn to practice sorcery. And to be honest, I work hard to practice it, and I fulfill my part of the bargain. But this woman is bullshitting again, and this is like starting to tiring me. I need to end this video soon.
Spirit with you. I know right offhand, if you have Samael, Baphomet, Azazel, Belial, they will broadcast themselves as Satan, no matter what name that they're taking.
So they never broadcasted themselves as Satan to me. Satan is separate entity from those spirits. It's separate energy, separate entity, separate power.
On if they're pretending to be Lucifer, you can eventually get them to come out and advertise themselves as Satan. If you try to evoke Satan, you're going to get one of these spirits instead of Lucifer. If you try to evoke Lucifer, Satan, there's a good chance the other ones will pick up on it, hone in, and come to you. There are several ways that these people are getting these fake spirits sent to them. And a lot of it is coming.
So she is claiming, to wrap these things up, that Isis and Osiris are the same spirits as Lilith and Samael. And that Lilith and Samael, who are Isis and Osiris, are attacking Lucifer, who is actually Ra. And in all of that mess, like Belial and Azazel are together with Lilith and Samael, and they are creating evil plots to destroy humanity through some ridiculous conspiracy. So I think I talked a lot about this. I talked enough about this. If you want me, I will continue this series of fucking over bullshit practitioners. Like, I will every fucking week find one bullshitter like this woman down here, and I will expose their bullshit and explain to you how they are full of shit. And I won't claim that all of the work from these people is fake. As I said before, I adore what Raven did previously, but this is nonsense. And I wanna inform you all that I won't tolerate bullshit in this community anymore. I will really try to expose bullshit and fight against bullshit. So, banish bullshit from your life, and thanks for watching.